when we talk about protecting women, what we've seen is, say, in the state of Ohio was one of the most recent states when their lawmakers didn't have the courage to do what they needed to do because, of course, we believe in gerrymandering. And because we believe in gerrymandering in this...
Point of order.
I moved to strike her word. I moved to strike her words.
Today, we're about to uncover how Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to strike Jasmine Crockett's words at the House committee hearing. We'll unravel the key issues discussed and spotlight the fiery exchange between Representatives Jasmine Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here's what Greene had to say.
Thank you, Chairwoman McClain, for holding this hearing. It's extremely important. I say that not only as a former athlete, but also very proud mother of a daughter who played her entire life, earned her D1 scholarship to her sport, which was softball. I'm so proud of her records, and I'm also very grateful. She never had her opportunities, her records she set, stolen from her from a biological man trying to replace her, beat her, dominate her in her sport. So I'm very thankful. I can't believe we're here, though. I can't believe we're holding a hearing today. As a matter of fact, I can't believe many things. Today we have something called gender-affirming care in our country, which is really cutting off the body parts of people in order to make them feel like they're another gender, which is completely wrong. And this is something being pushed on kids, cutting off their breast, castrating them, which really will lead to lifelong debilitating conditions, physical conditions, and mental illness. Hopefully not suicide, but unfortunately that is the case. Reproductive health care has been mentioned here. Even the term reproductive justice, which is really capital punishment for innocent babies. There's nothing reproductive about abortion. It's murder. But one thing I'd like to talk about right now is a Gallup poll that was done in May of 2023. 69% say transgender athletes should play on teams that match their birth gender or biological sex. But guess what? That's actually gone up because the left is losing the battle. Because in 2020, May of 2020, the exact same Gallup poll was done, and it was only 62% that agreed that transgender athletes should play on teams that match their birth gender or biological sex. So watching biological men dominating real women in sports is moving America's opinion to defend biological women and Title IX. This is a losing issue for Democrats because America fully agrees we have to protect women's sports. Ms. Goss-Graves, in 2013, the National Women's Law Center tweeted, "What have sports meant to you or a girl you know?" Tweet it with the hashtag, and then you put the hashtag. You responded, "National Girls and Women in Sports Day, I'm grateful to tennis. It is my late night outlet that I still play 20 years after high school." Do you still play tennis, Ms. Goss-Graves?
Not well anymore. My knees struggle.
But it's a great sport, and it's always fun.
Yes, I've enjoyed playing.
And you mentioned that you're a fan of Serena Williams. Is that right?
I am. I'm a Williams sister fan. I'm a tennis fan. I'm actually a fan of most sports. I grew up playing sports and in a family that understood that there is so much value in playing sports, whether you're the best or not the best.
I agree with you. And I'm a fan of Serena Williams, too. I think she's strong, I think she's powerful, and I think she's beautiful. In 2013, Serena Williams stated, "If I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0. 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. No, it's true. It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game." So sounds like she doesn't think she could beat men either. But let's talk about some of your comments. You said that this is attacking and dehumanizing on trans. Ms. Goss-Graves, how do you think Ms. Gaines felt? Do you think she felt dehumanized being forced to undress in front of men in her sports or attacked?
Here's what I think.
That's a yes or no question.
But if I could
being forced to undress in front of a man, isn't that dehumanizing or attacking?
I could answer this question, Madam Chairman, because I actually think this is really, really important. The issue of privacy in locker rooms and in bathrooms, there's a wide range of
So
ways
you feel like
for
Ms. Gaines should have
schools
had privacy?
to address that. You could put up a curtain, you could put up a door, you could have rotations. There are
I
so
reclaim my
many
time,
ways
Ms. Gosgraves.
schools to
Ms.
address
Gaines,
that,
did you
and
feel
what I
attacked and dehumanized? Ms. Gaines, did you feel attacked and dehumanized?
I certainly did. And in swimming locker rooms, there are no curtains, there are no stalls, there are no doors.
But there could be curtains.
This is, I reclaim my time. It's Ms. Gaines right now.
That would be restructuring how I've competed in my entire 18 years of competing for what we've described in this hearing today as such a small percentage of the population. We would restructure and uproot what we're used to and what works and allows us to be. I think we can all agree a locker room in general is not a comfortable place, even of course in dressing in front of all women. But growing up a swimmer in that environment, again for 18 years of my life, you become comfortable being vulnerable in that environment. And my teammates and my competitors, we had our vulnerability stripped from us by the leaders of the NCAA and again those who implemented this policy.
Thank you, Ms. Gaines.
As Jasmine Crocket got into her speech, the hearing escalated as Green interrupted Crocket multiple times, attempting to undermine her arguments. Crocket remained composed and firmly insisted on her right to speak, demanding respect and decorum during the hearing.
Most everyone up here on the other side of the aisle has endorsed a person that has been found liable for sexual abuse of women. To be our president of the United States, but we are going to talk about how this party is going to protect women. Protecting women, what exactly does that mean? Are we going to talk about sexual abuse? Because we can get into it, because we do have some real conversations that we can have about it. Considering the fact that we're currently in the middle of, say, a war, there's been allegations of rape being used in war. Seems like maybe we could have a few conversations about what it would look like to prevent that, what it would look like to maybe go and get those hostages out, maybe go and send some money to our allies. It looks like we could do something of value, but let me tell you, this session, we have set so many good records. One of those records was we've had a record number of people that have retired or announced their retirements in the month of November from the House. And from everything that I hear, it's because this body has become completely unserious. But we do have serious issues, especially when it comes to women. So let's talk about what it looks like to protect women in this country. When lawmakers like this are so far out of touch with what women need, we see states pushing back, at least states that will allow you to push back. I'm from the state of Texas, and of course, they don't want you to ever have an opportunity to raise your voice in the state of Texas. In fact, Ms. Perry, I know your organization, the Heritage Foundation, loves Texas. Ooh, they love Texas. They always sending us some nonsense bills that somehow set this country on the wrong trajectory. They send them to Texas. They send them to Florida. Every deplorable state that we can think about, they usually coming out of y'all's think tank. But nevertheless, when we talk about protecting women, what we've seen is, say, in the state of Ohio was one of the most recent states when their lawmakers didn't have the courage to do what they needed to do because, of course, we believe in gerrymandering. And because we believe in gerrymandering in this...
Point of order. I moved
Please
to strike
stop my
her
time.
I moved to strike her words, deplorable states.
That's not a point of order. Let the gentlelady proceed.
The committee will suspend. Whoa, 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 whoa. The committee will suspend. Just hold, slow. So I'm prepared to rule. This is not a statement. A deplorable state is not a statement against a person, or it is not engaging in personalities. So I'll continue, and you can reclaim your time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we saw recently what the state of Ohio did when their lawmakers refused to listen to them. We also have seen what the state of Kansas decided to do. When it comes to protecting women, it seems like the only people that are standing up for women on an everyday basis are the people themselves because they're elected officials that somehow get into these positions in a gerrymandered way. They don't seem to represent the interest of the people. But let me talk to you about something that is very real in this country, and that is unhoused people. And I'm sure that while we don't have an expert on the matter here, many of you may not recognize that the majority of the youth that are actually unhoused in this country are members of the LGBTQIA community. When we look at mental health issues in this country, if we care, because I done heard terms that I never thought I hear certain people say up in here. We done heard about equality. We done heard about regressiveness. We've heard about civil rights. I can't get the Voting Rights Act passed. We've heard we need to follow the science. Are you kidding me? When we're sitting up here talking about anti-vaccine and all this nonsense. But let me tell you about somebody that I love very dearly, who has struggled and suffered because of the ignorance that continues to be perpetuated, which is not what is in the will of the people. Young Libby, who has been my constituent for far too long and gone through too much in the state of Texas. At the age of 7, Libby started testifying down at the state house about the bathroom bill. I think that was a Heritage Foundation situation as well. Started testifying at the age of 7 about how it made her feel. Then ultimately, Libby has been testifying, and at this point, Libby is 13 years old. And I'm going to tell you something. I know that it was characterized as, oh, this is the cool thing to do, and maybe people are encouraged to be trans, and so they don't want to speak out. And now that it is not the easy thing to do. When you have to sit here and prove your personhood every single time that you're walking around. You got people that feel away because they losing in the sport. And listen, the trans person, it don't sound like even came in first from what I could tell. But nevertheless, I think we need to focus on real things that are real issues as it relates to women. If you care about women, let's get the ERA passed so we can have equal rights. Let's make sure that we fully fund access to reproductive health. Let's make sure that we are protecting those that are being raped, because they're being raped in this country as well as abroad. And this party has decided that even if you're raped and you're a child, guess what? You shouldn't have access to reproductive health care. That is not protecting women, and I will yield.
Thank you. Before this gets even more out of control, I'm going to try and reel it back in. I'm going to remind everybody on what the title of this hearing is. The importance of protecting female athletes and Title IX. So Title IX was designed to give female athletes equality, fairness. This is about, and I'm going to restate it again because we're getting off track, Title IX and protecting female athletes. I'm happy to have other hearings, but I'd like to stay focused on this hearing, if we could, which again is the importance of protecting female